Hello there, and welcome to A Lenten Alphabet, a new podcast for this Lent, where every day I'll be exploring a different letter of the alphabet and drawing out some of the themes, connections, and ideas for prayer that go with those letters. I hope that it helps you to make a good Lent, and I hope you enjoy it too. And he who was seated on the throne said, "Behold, I am making all things new." And he said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end." Episode 1. A is for Alpha. The first letter of the Hebrew Bible is actually the letter B, from the word Bereshit, which means in the beginning, funnily enough. But in this little piece that we've just heard from the book of Revelation chapter 21, verses 5 and 6, we hear Christ describing himself not as a B, but as Alpha, the first letter of the alphabet, the letter then that comes even before the beginning of creation. In Greek, the letter Alpha represents the sound of breath, breathing out. It is through writing his Alpha, who is his Son, that the Father exhales his breath. He sends us Christ in the flesh and writes him into the pages of human history through his incarnation, writing that letter into the world. In this holy season of Lent, we're preparing to celebrate the greatest mystery of our Christian faith, that Christ, having become incarnate, dies, and through his death proves himself yet again to be the Alpha, the new beginning, rising from the dead, the first to do so, but not the last, as in doing so he opens the gates of heaven for all who believe in him, as St. Paul puts it, as a sort of first fruits for all who believe. The new creation then begins in Christ. The new life of the resurrection begins in him. But does our Lent really begin in him? It's very tempting nowadays to view Lent as if it's a kind of self-help project, a bit like a long version of Dry January, just simply a chance to curb our excesses, maybe lose a bit of weight in the process, be healthier, stronger. We can, in our zeal to perform our disciplines well, also get to the point where we're really thinking we're in charge here, that we're proving to ourselves how virtuous we are, or we're proving our mettle as Christians to others, or even worse, trying to prove to God how wonderful we are so that he might love us more. But this is not what Lent is about. Lent is about recognizing Christ again as the Alpha, the beginning of all things in our life, all things in creation, all things in redemption. And so, before we should choose any penance, fasting, almsgiving, any abstinence or prayer, the best thing is to turn to him and ask him to be at the center and be the true motivation for everything that we do. Our Lent only starts in Christ. To live a good Lent, all we need do is follow him. And he who was seated on the throne said, "Behold, I am making all things new." And he said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end."